Hey folks, Tim here from Rockout Videography again. So, you're thinking about buying one of these JOYO mini bass amps. You've been reading and watching the reviews, you've been following the threads on the gear forums, and you're confused. Some people say it's awesome, some people say it's a useless piece of garbage. Well, fear not, my friends, I bought one and we've been putting it through its paces, so stick around. We're going to help you figure out whether or not this amp is a good choice for you. So like I said, there's a lot of debate about this amp, and I think ultimately it all comes down to what you want to use it for and what your expectations are. I ordered it from Amazon and it came in its own box without any additional packaging or anything else to protect it, but that's fine, there wasn't any damage. Included with it is a JOYO 9 volt, basically like a pedal power supply. It's positive negative. It also comes with a manual which has all of the basic stuff that you would expect, safety warnings and a description of what all the knobs, controls, and inputs and outputs do. The JOYO MA10B is the bass version. It's a small portable bass amp, and again, it can be powered by either the 9 volt power supply or you can use 6 AA batteries. It's rated at 10 watts. On the front, you can see the 5-inch speaker and what may be a tweeter. I'm not really sure. I don't think it is. Maybe it's just for aesthetics. It doesn't look like a port. And I couldn't find any information online about it. It's not mentioned at all on JOYO's website. They just mentioned the 5-inch speaker. I don't want to take this one apart. It's got really deep recesses to get to the screws, which are really small. So I was kind of afraid I wouldn't be able to get it back together again, or that it would be a struggle. Please leave a comment if you know what this part of the amp is for. On the back, there's a power switch and the input for the 9 volt power supply. There's also a compartment for the AA batteries, which is labeled for polarity both inside and out. JOYO says the batteries will last about 3 hours. I've seen enough shootouts between AA battery brands to know that battery life varies significantly between batteries brands. Environmental conditions also have an effect. I recommend that if you're going to be using this frequently on battery power, get some rechargeable batteries for it. Replacing the batteries every 2 to 3 hours is going to get really expensive really fast. On top, you have your 3.5mm headphone out, a 3.5mm aux in, volume and tone knobs, a drive switch, and a gain switch. There's also a standard 1/4 inch instrument input. On the side, there are small plastic strap knobs that you can screw out with your fingers. I'm not sure how well these would stand up over time. You can attach a strap, but I would probably use loops of shoestring or something tied to the straps to avoid breaking off the knobs if you plan to take the strap on and off a lot. It's small and light enough to fit in a small backpack. It also fits in this camera bag. There's nothing on the bottom. It would be cool if there was a 5/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter connector to attach it to a mic stand or a camera tripod. Alright, I'm going to show you some sound tests. There's 3 things that I want you to keep in mind though. First of all, you need to listen. See that? You need to listen with good headphones, speakers, or earbuds. If you're listening on your phone, you're not going to get an accurate feel for what this thing really sounds like. The speaker on your phone just can't replicate sound accurately, especially low frequencies like bass. Second of all, the audio recording is going through an Asden SMX10 shotgun mic. It's being recorded into my Canon G50 camcorder, which is set at 4K. My AC unit is on some of these tests, just like it would be in your house, so you might hear a low rumble or something, but hey, that's real life. Third, I'm a bass player. I'm not a guitar player. I suck on guitar. And Samuel, he's just starting out, so go easy on him. You're not going to be hearing any killer riffs during these demos, but you will be able to hear how the amp sounds volume-wise in relation to other instruments, and that's really the point of it all. Alright, so let's start off by just kind of showing how the controls work and what this thing sounds like. I'm playing a Squier Affinity PJ bass. There's a review up there, right there, if you want to go to our gear review playlist and check it out. But I'm playing round wounds because most of you guys are probably using a bass with round wounds as well. So, to start off with, that's not very loud. You can add more gain. Let's put it at about 9 o'clock there. And we can start to add some volume. It's starting to break up a little bit. Let's add a little bit more volume, see how far we can go. Hear that? Add a little bit more gain. That's really breaking up a lot. Now, when you're playing with other instruments, you can get a little bit of grit in there, and that's probably not going to be a problem, but that's probably about max volume you're going to get out of this thing before it breaks up. The camera microphone, the shotgun mic, is about 6 feet away from this amp. Now, it also has a drive switch that you can throw in there for some distortion. So, if that's what you want, that's cool. I kind of like that. I think that's a pretty decent sound for fuzz bass. It's not something I usually play. Alright, so I was curious how this thing's going to sound if you put some pedals into it. I've got this JHS Pulp and Peel here, which is like one of my favorites lately for bass. Still a little bit of breakup there. Let's turn the tone knob down a little bit, get some more bass out of it. Alright, so you can put pedals into it. Now, how about a drum loop pedal? That's something you probably want to practice with. I know I like to. So let's try that. So there you go. Now, people ask a lot of questions about this on the forums, so we decided to do some tests. So, first of all, is it loud enough for you to plug in your electric bass and play alongside somebody who's using a steel string acoustic guitar? Yeah, it is. Is it loud enough to play alongside somebody who's using an electric guitar that's plugged into a small battery-powered amp like this Honeytone that we have right here? Yeah, it'll work for that. Is it loud enough to play alongside somebody who's using a full-size regular guitar amp with an electric guitar like my Fender Champion 50 XL? And not really. I mean, if they turn down, you can hear it a little bit in that clip, but not if they're playing with a drummer. So is it loud enough to play with drummer? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not even close. It's not loud enough to play alongside a drummer, and it's not going to be loud enough to play with other guys in a jam if there's a drummer in the room. So you can forget all about that. Alright, so just what is this amp good for? Well, first of all, it's quiet enough that it's going to work well if you're trying to practice. Say you live in an apartment or someplace where noise is an issue. Would it be a good travel amp? I think it's probably too loud to play in a hotel room. If you're planning to use this to play through headphones most of the time, you're probably better off getting something like a Vox amp plug, which is much, much more portable and is going to do the same thing for you. You're just going to sacrifice the ability to listen to it through a speaker. This will allow you to play your bass alongside your friends who are playing their acoustic guitars during those like living room or outdoor campfire acoustic jams. It's also loud enough to play with your friends who are using small battery-powered amps. It has enough amplification to boost an acoustic bass as well so that it can hold its own in those kinds of situations. So is this a good starter amp for somebody who's just learning to play bass? It could be, but I would say no if you're planning to ever play with a drummer at any time in the future. It's just not loud enough for that. There are other amps like my old Fender Rumble 30 that can play alongside the drums. They're not that expensive. And most modern amps also have headphone outs and aux ins to do that kind of thing if you want to. So there's really no point in getting this if you're planning to ever escape outside your apartment or your bedroom. So personally, I think that it's this amp's ability to run on battery power that is its strongest feature. That makes it portable in a way that most amps are not. And you can take it places where you don't have any AC power. However, is it loud enough for busking? I would say probably not. Anytime you're in an outdoor environment where there's a lot of crowds or traffic noise, it's just going to get drowned out. It isn't loud enough. Now, in a busking situation, could you use it as a personal monitor? Run your bass into a passive DI box and then out to this and whatever you're using as your PA for vocals and other instruments? It might work for that. Again, it's going to depend on your environment and your situation. I bought it because my kids are allowed to bring their guitars to school and jam with their friends during the lunch hour. And they're mostly using little battery-powered amps to do that. With this, my kids can now bring a bass to school if they want and jam with their friends. So I think that's really cool. So this amp is going to work for me to do what I want with it. But based on the tests that we've done, you're going to have to decide whether or not it's going to work for you. It may not. All right, folks, it's time for a new feature that we're adding to our videos. It's time for the Featured YouTube Artist of the Week. Today's featured artist is the Joeys. I've been following them for a couple of years now, and my understanding is that they started out in high school. They're currently a three-piece band. They're putting down some awesome rockabilly original music, and I also hear some classic country and surf rock influences in their sounds. You should subscribe to their channel, like their videos, and leave them some comments. They're really good. As always, I hope that you found this video both entertaining and informative, and I hope it helped you decide whether or not you should buy one of these JOYO MA10B micro bass amps. We appreciate it when you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Leave us a comment and let me know whether or not you have any experience with this amp, what you think of the review, and if it didn't answer all of your questions that you have, let me know. I'll try to answer you in the comments, or I'll add your question to the next Q&A video. As always, thank you for watching and have a great day.